Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's special YouTube live stream. Today is June 3rd, 2026. It's after 11:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at night in the USA. This is a special live stream. In this video, I'm going to do live paper trading or bar replay or chart requests or my own chart research. Just trying out a new video concept idea. Years ago, I used to be a live streamer on TradingView when TradingView had live streams. So I used to live stream on TradingView, YouTube, and Twitch at the same time. Then I switched back to YouTube videos, and I'm going to try out some more live stream ideas just to get in more practice and work. So again, I am No FOMO Charts. I'm a trader and investor and charts analyst here on YouTube. Welcome, everyone. Again, this is paper trading. This is fake virtual account trading. This is not financial advice. Let's get started. This is going to be casual and informal. If you have a question or chart request, just let me know in the chat box or the comments later. Let's switch over to TradingView. All right, so this is my usual process. I just look at the indexes just to see what's going on. The two EMAs I have up right now are 8 EMA and 21 EMA. Look at SPY S&P 500 on the daily chart. So we rejected down from resistance 759.69, and we lost that immediate support of 756.93. There was bad news. Geopolitical bad news, and there was a bearish setup on this RSI. Remember, I was talking about this. When we make a higher high in the price and a lower low in the RSI, losing momentum on the MACD, that could be a pullback. Price was up here. The shooting star is in progress right now, in my opinion. We're a little too high on the weekly. 4 hour was also losing momentum. Let's go to NASDAQ just to get a quick overview. Hit that resistance of 748. NASDAQ as well, you could see the bearish divergence forming on the RSI, and the MACD histogram is pulling back as well. Weekly chart, not quite out of bounds for Bollinger Band, but the linear regression is out of bounds, and it's overbought. Possibly, we might get a real crash, but we're still technically in the uptrend. And so we're not actually in this downtrend yet. So it's probably going to be something like this again, where we pull back, and then algorithms might try to save that support. Because right now, if we think about it, Bitcoin, crypto's crashing. AI had an amazing run up for 6 months to 1 year, or even 2 years. And if AI stocks and tech stocks are the new Bitcoin and altcoins, meaning they're so popular, when they get too high, we're going to get a pullback like we're having right now. And like I said in 1 or 2 videos ago, that I sold all my coins, swing trading, I sold them all. Most recently, I did stock trading for the latest NVIDIA related stocks. So the Computex conference, I just quickly 1 or 2 days, just did a quick swing trade, took my profit. I also trade futures as well. So I was trading that, took my profit, got stopped out a couple times too, but took my profit as well. So overall, things are moving. And sometimes it's not really good to only look at a ETF, because if you have TradingView or a paid account, sometimes it's good to at night just check futures, what's going on. So for example, I'll look at ES1, E-mini S&P 500 futures, and we can see we got that gap down. So now I'm going to start doing intraday analysis. So on a monthly, we're pulling back outside the linear regression resistance, got rejected below 7606. Weekly as well, 7600 resistance. It's in the sky right now. The daily chart starting to pull back below that EMA. 4-hour chart starting to get, it's downtrending. We're starting to get into that linear regression zone of support, just like the 1 hour. So yesterday, I closed this trade so I could talk about it. I shorted the S&P 500 on futures last night, overnight. And how did I know how to do that? What did I see? What was my setup? Well, we were at all-time highs, 7630. I could turn off these indicators. We were at all-time highs. There was bad news that came out. Honestly, the geopolitical USA-Iran conflict, military conflict, was one of the negative catalysts, but also in certain areas of the world, there's also just news and events that's happening, geopolitical. So it's kind of like a negative catalyst day yesterday and overnight. So that's why for me, I basically shorted that. And what I could have, I'll be honest, I had a winning trade. What I could have done is manage that trade a little bit better. So I'll actually explain what I did. So on the daily, we have that resistance below 7630 and hanging man candle, shooting stars. You could just kind of see it and feel it in the market that we were going to pull back. 4-hour, then I identified overnight, late at night yesterday. I was trading yesterday as well. 7625 is this resistance. We're getting this resistance in this blue line on the yellow box. Even on the hourly, I was just staring at this all night long yesterday thinking, okay, I'm seeing the resistance. I'm seeing the support in blue. I see a channel as well. When I zoom out, we're at all-time highs. Resistance could be a double top on the 4-hour. 1 hour, we were just getting rejected. It almost looked like it tried to be a triangle, but I was interpreting it more as resistance. So then I shorted futures. Successful trade. What I could have done better was this. I probably could have, and I was talking to AI and also my separate other trading journal, is that I put in static targets. So I had a static stop loss, which is fine. It was somewhere up here. I don't remember the exact spot, but probably somewhere right here. So let's just say 7631. My entry was in this zone as it was fading down. It was so choppy. Probably for 1 hour. So choppy, lacking direction. So I just said, we're at resistance. We're not at support. I'm just going to short this thing down. News is bad. Nobody's paying attention to this right now. I'm just going to short this down. So I shorted it. What I could have done is instead, I didn't capture all of this profit. What I could have done is trail the stop loss instead of having a static stop loss. So the static stop loss was good in the fact that it prevented me from getting wicked out on this candle. So I still had a winning trade, but if I had a larger trailing stop or if I had multiple take profit targets, I could have sold maybe some here, sold some here, sold some here, and then later tonight I could have closed out that position because we had a double bottom on the bottom, and it's really quiet right now in the post market. It's actually really loud in crypto. We had a crypto crash, and I traded that. But that's something I just want to explain to anybody who might be watching this, or I'm just talking to myself right now at this point, is to just for me to understand that sometimes a trailing stop loss is better, sometimes a static stop loss is better, sometimes multiple take profit is better, sometimes just reasonable. I did a 2 ATR move, and that was normal for me. But there is a lot more of that move I could have captured. So that's something I could have done better on yesterday's trade. It's really quiet right now, though. So let's see if I can actually get in a one trade of practice on ES1. If not, I'll just bar replay. So I'll try to do live practice first. Again, this is casual, live, informal. All right, so we had that consolidation, that triangle, rejecting in a downtrend. Now it almost looks like a potential trend change. I'm seeing on my other screen here that Bitcoin has rallied off of its capitulation low, at least for this session and in the post-market session. So why don't I do this? For 5 minutes or 15 minutes or 1 hour, if there's a potential trend change reversal, practice paper trading. Let's go paper trading. Set this up, reset. This is a fake account. Oh, we got new margin controls now. All right. Just put a number like 10. Actually, I have to reset my account. I reset my account. Just say, like a $10 fee commission. Contract. All right, so I don't need to look at these metrics right now until the end. There may or may not be a trade. Sometimes post-market session is wild. Sometimes it's so quiet that nothing happens. Let's just pretend, keep the numbers simple. I'm going to trade one S&P 500 E-mini futures contract. Keep the numbers simple. And I'll set up an OCO order later. Actually, let's do it now. I want to show people a good habit. So let's just say this is a big swing trading style or like a full day of trading. Let's just get this 25 ticks and 75 ticks. OCO order, stop loss, take profit. I'm just going to buy that right now. There we go. So it's in. There's no sound confirmation or its volume's too low. Already, because of slippage and commissions, the position opens negative, which let's make it realistic. So probably should have planned that trade out a little better on live stream. I usually bring up my risk reward. It's the end of the day for me right now. Yeah, let's just say I'm gonna do a really large stop loss, like do like 10 points. And move that stop down here. Risking 500 fake dollars on this trade. And if it happens to bounce, which it may not, the 2R target would be something like this. So I'm targeting 20 points. I'm risking 10 points. I could trade this on MES, but on live, I'm going to trade it on ES. I can even size up, but really quiet right now. I might come back to this, let this simmer. Let this trade simmer, let it cook. And if I get stopped out, risk-free trade is practice, because this is a double bottom, but we are still downtrending. And actually, until I make maybe one more higher low and try to get the trend change, I'm actually early into this trade. But because I did buy a little high on this spot, but that's why it's practice. I'm testing, okay, imperfect setups. Does it still work? Low volume post market. Is it still going to work? Probably not, but let's move on. Let's go to something else like let's go to like Ripple. So let's see. I use Bitstamp. It's in the post market right now. All right, so on a daily chart, actually, I'll just flash show Bitcoin first. So Bitcoin, we had this flash dump, and remember, I'm saying in last week's video that we had this head and shoulders, or a couple weeks ago, that if we break bearish, watch out. We were holding support for a little bit, but even for me, I was highly convinced we were going to crash. So I sold over here. Sold here. So I have not touched crypto for some time now, but I actually did enter long at the capitulation crash. Well, look at this. This is incredible. My target down here, the number 1, 2, and 3 targets hit perfectly. That's incredible. Technical analysis works so well. That was a negative 20% crash. But now that this hammer candle is forming, we're still in the downtrend. Let me bring up my EMAs. My 4 EMAs. Downtrending on the daily, downtrending on the 4 hours, a big clue. Downtrending on the 1 hour, even though we bounced back up into it. 15 minutes, still downtrending. 5 minute, still downtrending, but we have this V-shaped recovery, which is 5%. Which is great. So let me see if I can example trade. Yes, the 1 minute's up, but it's so choppy right now. Let me see if I could example trade crypto live. It's been a while. But for this, I'm going to go to something with an easy number, like XRP, because it's only $1.20. Easy to figure that position sizing out. So this one, I'll do a slightly smaller position size than the ES futures, because futures is leveraged. So let me bring open, well, you can't see the calculator, but I'm going to do a $10,000 position divided by 1 XRP, which is $1.21. And that quantity comes out to, do that again. So I'm position sizing right now, you just can't see it. 8,265 ripples. Ripple. 8,265. So I'm going to come in here, type it 8,265, which we can see. It says it's 1,000 USD. Did I do that math right? What it says. All right, so I'm going to buy limit at current open price. Actually, I might not buy limit. I actually might sell limit because I think because it is a hammer candle. I'm looking at my other screen right now, but it looks like it's going to reject under this daily EMA, this 1 hour. We're right at that 1 hour 21 EMA. So since we're still downtrending, it's not actually uptrending like this. If it was uptrending, I could long, but because we're downtrending and it looks like we might get rejected, I'm going to practice this short. Interesting. What is this? Margin. There's so many new features that when I used to paper trade, I'll just turn the crypto and everything off. Oh, my futures was 500 to 1 leverage. Wow. All right, so we fixed that, right? Now it's correct. So it's interesting to know that I have to actually set that. So maybe this trade is going to be scratched. But leverage on crypto, I'll just do 1-to-1 in USA. Trade value approximately $10,000. Practice. So what am I going to do? Am I going to long or short this? How am I going to figure this out, right? So in the 1 hour, we are downtrending. In the daily, we're downtrending. Yes, there's a hammer on the daily. Okay. 4 hours downtrending after a capitulation crash. 1 hour downtrending after a capitulation crash. 15-minute downtrending, but we had the bounce. So if I hold it, if we're going to capitulate one more time, I should see it consolidate and then fold down, but it should take about 6 or 12 hours for that to happen. 5-minute, hit that 200 EMA resistance. So if we even pull back a little bit, that's why I'm practicing on this scalp, for example. But the hammer, this is a hammer right now here with the stick on a multi-time frame. So I'm looking for signs. We could get continuation because I see that on Bitcoin in the 4-hour, it looks like we could get a morning star. If I flip back to the chart, you see this 4-hour morning star. Okay, so if that's going to target 65,446, come back to XRP. This could be a psychological double bottom. So in my opinion, if I miss the scalp of the crash, a very flash crash, and it's bouncing back up, I could attempt, because this hammer candle is showing there's somebody bought that, there's support here. I could attempt actually a long trade because actually on our RSI, it's oversold. Oversold on 4-hour with a little bit of momentum. Hourly double bottom. It's just I'm late to the trade on this paper trading session. So medium term, like a 4-hour daily setup, I would probably, it's not financial advice, I would long that to see if I could get some continuation because the downside risk is 5%. But if I'm going to scalp it and just do like a 1-minute, 2-minute trade, I think this could actually pull back a little bit. And that 5-minute, 15. Because on a 15-minute, I see that the stochastic's overbought. Could be wrong here, but let's just practice the scalping of the short. So here we go. There's like 8,465 units or something. Say 365. All right, close enough. Let's just self-practice. Now, quickly, the take profit and the stop loss on the reverse side. There it is, the close. And because it's crypto, the ATR right now is pretty big. We went 5 times the ATR on a 15-minute. Market's pretty quiet right now. Maybe shorts got stopped out. Long's trying to do something. I'm just going to target, let's do really, really conservative. I'm going to do a 1% target down. Super scalpy. Super scalp. 0.5% to the upside. Stop loss. Which could get wicked out on any second here. Confirm that stop loss. I'm risking $50 on this paper trade. Take profit, we'll do 1%. Although it might only go 0.5%, but I'll do a 1%. So I'm risking $50 to try to get the $100 on this crypto paper trade scalp. Let's check how, let's go back to my E-mini long, see how that's doing. So on a 15-minute, there's 3 minutes to the candle close on the countdown on the right here. This is a large double bottom, and actually futures and crypto bottomed out around the same time in the post-market Asia session. So because it has double bottom, that's why even though it's kind of late to this trade on futures, I could try to target 5, 10, 15 points. The stop loss doesn't have to be this big, but it could really take like 4 hours. So this might not be a legitimate paper trade example. It's better for me to paper trade during USA market hours or do this live. But it looks like we might get some continuation up there, right? Starting to take up just a little bit. Don't care about my P&L in this practice session. Just going to keep flipping back between these two. see, which Ripple did I use? I used Coinbase Ripple for this. Okay. So I shorted this and it's already ticking down into my idea here. We'll see. Ticking down again. So London and Europe opens up in a few hours from now. So we'll see if they're going to react to that or not. But this is incredible. All these metrics down here, this was not like this even 1 or 2 years ago. Definitely when I started a long time ago, years and years ago, none of this existed. This paper trading, the bar replay did not exist. The paper trading metrics like this did not exist. The order panel over here was not the same. Take profit OCO orders did not exist, right? Oh, I forgot to put a commission. Okay. I think the crypto commissions are, let me see. Look at like a Bitstamp. Standard taker fee, 0.5%. Okay. Let's do that. Even increase the commissions per contract. Also, all this leverage, I have to turn it off. Okay, so yes, it did pull back here on this 15-minute for my XRP trade. The example short, which I'm just waiting for. And this is kind of that hard part, just patience. If I put on 1 or 2 trades and I have a setup or an idea, manage the risk, talk it through, just kind of just sit here. I could do something else. I could not, it's not good to walk away, in my opinion, from the computer, but I could take a little mental break for a few minutes. So it's a nice easy number, 0.25% gain here in the money. If I started this video a couple hours ago, I actually traded this and already closed my profit in real time, real account, but this is a fake account, paper trading. Okay, so instead of just waiting and doing nothing, I'll just talk through more of the process of more important than indicators. Indicators are really important, but more important than that, more important than this paper trading P&L or the order DOM here, it's all about the risk management. If I could go back and train myself and start over again, talk to myself, start over, it would all be about risk management, meaning this number here, it's hard to see. It's so small. This number that I'm moving here, the stop loss on the short, if this gets out of control or keeps changing every single trade, that's what destroys accounts and traders. Believe me, I've experienced that many, many times, meaning that, and how does it change? It changes with position sizing, it changes with contract sizing as well. So, for example, on this XRP paper trade, and we can see it's breaking down into my setup. Perfect. You know what I'm going to do? Instead of just talking so much, discipline is not getting emotional. Discipline is not cheering and running around or leaving the computer. discipline is move the stop to break even so I can't lose on this trade. First thing to do is don't lose. Don't leave the stop loss here or even no one would be crazy enough to move it. Worse, the smart logical thing to do if I was an AI robot, it would say move the stop to break even. Or a little bit above break even. That's what I do in case there's slippage or something. So I'm gonna lock in. I'm gonna top of this candle. I'm gonna lock in at least $10 on this trade. Cannot lose. Cannot lose. We're up $50 in this trade, the scalp, without commissions. Just waiting. So what I was saying about risk management is if I don't do that as a habit, break even, or just leave my stop. If I'm swing trading, I leave my stop loss and go to sleep. But if I'm day trading and it's very volatile, which we've seen, for example, let me put the stop loss back, which we've seen here where somebody could play this leg long. It's only, I mean, it's 1 hour of candles, but then quickly reverse. And if they didn't trail the stop or move the stop loss up going long, would have lost money. Same thing for me in the short side. If I open a short here and I'm shorting and I don't move the stop loss and a couple hours later it moves back against me, then break even or actually loss. So right now it's extremely important. I did size this trade comfortably or normally for example purposes correctly. I did $10,000 in the position because it's crypto, for example. Other people's could be smaller. Other people could be much larger. And then I figured out, okay, what's basically my max risk I'm willing to try on this trade? A paper trade is $50. So then what I did was once it moves in my favor and I'm correct, if I was incorrect and this thing stopped me out, then just don't. A beginner would say, no, we're going to keep moving it away or cancel the stop loss. A professional would just lock it in, lock the loss in. And what my motto is, and I'm trying to keep instilling to myself, is that loss is not the worst thing to happen. Blowing up someone's account, over leveraging, no stop loss is the worst scenario to happen. The correct scenario is if I plan this trade out and I have a 1R, meaning I'm risking $50 to get a 2R for $100 in the scalp without commissions and fees, is that I need to lock in that stop loss and then commit to that for the whole rest of the session of the trade. Whether this was, because it's crypto, whether this was a swing trade, could have swing traded it, but I'm doing a crypto scalp, right? So now that the trade's moving in my favor and it actually went almost, no, not quite 1 ATR. It looks like it's gonna, if this is the top spot, it's gonna go right to here. So I might not hit my 1% target. Let me just mark this spot. If it gets there and starts flipping around, I'm then close to trade. So I'm gonna move this to break even or a little bit above so I don't get any losses on this trade. Successful short. Just waiting. I could trail it a little bit more, right? Just because if I really want to make sure. So I'm gonna lock in at least $30 in this trade, confirm that stop loss. And now you can see it's really aiming for this 1 ATR move. This is a 15-minute candle, by the way. So if I switch to a 5-minute candle, let's see my resistance. It's probably going to bounce if I switch to a 1 minute. Okay, it's oversold, for example. I'm seeing it starting to make something here. So you know what I'm going to do is, where's my order, Dom? I think actually if I click X, let me see if this works. Close, and then it's asking me partial close. So let me close half of this. Just off the top of my head. Just for good, just eyeball it. Partially close half position. So I sold half. Locked in some of that profit. So if I get this kind of situation where I was scalping and this thing looks like it might go higher. I sold half just in case, but I definitely don't want it to go back up to my entry position. No way. I don't want that to happen because then I'm just leaving. The risk reward gets all messed up. It gets skewed if I keep changing things like that too much. So my target was the 2R, but if I'm not going to hit the 2R and we're going to reverse, and this is a scalp, for example, maybe I'll just move this a little bit closer to I'm going to lock in at least $25 profit. It looks like it's about to hit the stop loss. And then this bottom one, I'll close it a little bit as well. Right. So if it goes up, if it goes down, it's about to close my position. And TradingView automatically recalculated that half, I think it looks like. So if it just goes a little bit higher, I should get closed. There we go. Executed. Perfect. Right. Let's see on this. It's actually hard to see. Let me see. Filled. I think I made $50 on that trade. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, 0.5% approximately. Less than $50. All right. So that was a successful trade. Now, this one, a little bit not fair if I switch back to the futures trade, is because it was 10 times bigger size. I actually, next video, I should equal out the sizes better. So this is kind of a not normal comparison. That's because that's ES S&P SPY futures contract. The correlations are kind of interesting to watch, right? It's only unrealized P&L of $50-$60, but I could see right now, actually at my entry, which again is pretty late. If I did this for real, I want to get in here. Why? Double bottom, candle. I don't know if you can see this or not. Candle wick down and got rejected. This might be correlation of like very similar to when crypto bottomed out. So we started to consolidate for 5, 10, 15, 25, 30 minutes to the side. And then if we don't crash, then I'm expecting this to actually get continuation or a little bit, right? I could just see that tick up. The trade actually turned green. Sometimes though, just ignore the P&L flickering around. I wish there was a level 2 or something I could see. But that's more important, just to look at, okay, what's the volume? It's still uptrending after a double bottom. The resistance is here at 75.50. My big level of support, which is actually way down here, 75.31. The potential next target, this is where I might use a pivot or something. Okay, so we're getting stuck below that pivot point on a 15 minute. There we go. So we're not going to really get that much green until we break out above 75.47.25. I can see that pulling back. My trade idea might get invalidated here. And I might not want to risk the full 500 loss because we might have to wait all night for that to see if that's true or not. Some people might be saying, wow, no formal charts. This is too much thinking. This is too much planning. But in my opinion, as a trader, this is part of the process in terms of planning the trade out so well and sticking to the plan. You notice that I'm not moving my stop loss around. Just commit to that number. Risk managed. Commit to this number up here. Now it's just a matter of which way is the price going to break and how long can I wait for it patiently. So here's my thinking. I'm in this trade right now. If it does not break above, let's say 75.49, which is in this zone, or even the pivot point of 75.47.50, if it doesn't break above that in, let's say, 1 or 2 hours, or by next video, I have a problem then in this trade. If I start to see Bitcoin crashing, like I kind of see it pulling back right now, 1 second. In my real trading, hold on. 1 second. All right, so in my real trading, I just set up my my stop loss on one of my trades that's going on in real life right now. This is paper trading though. So again, it's just kind of flickering here. I'm actually just really looking at crypto right now to check my sentiment. We're still on a downtrend, right? So let's just pretend I might have to show MES next time because these numbers are too big. One contract is too big for when I compare it against crypto position sizing. So I'm like 10 times bigger than crypto right now. But let's just say for a practice example that if this candle closes below 7543.25, maybe my idea is wrong, right? If it does starts doing this with the price and then it starts pulling back like that, I would definitely be wrong, right, in this trade. The only way I could be right in this trade is in the next hour, it has to do this. But arguably, if the ATR is $7, I use this free indicator. Somebody created this indicator on TradingView, by the way. Let's do a quick shout out. Who was it? I think it says by somebody. Delosification. Thank you, whoever you are in the world. Delosification, free on TradingView. This volume average, current volume, ATR, and chart is a custom community indicator for free. And I like it because it tells me relative volume percentage. It's hard to see down here. Relative volume, the current volume, number of volume, the 15-minute average volume, and then the ATR. Because if you turn that off, you don't get that information. You don't really need it, but for me, this type of trading I do, it just helps me calculate things faster when I have this down here, ATR. Okay, so I'm starting to get rejected. Down here, ATR is 640. All right, so let's just say from the close here, we already went 2 times the target. So I might have longed at not good spot. So for practice, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually reverse this position. I'm going to change my idea. So I'm short now 1 contract. Stop loss, let's say 1 ATR, which I have to bring out the risk reward tool. So I flipped here because I think maybe that idea I had was actually not correct. It's too late. So I'm actually risking $300 on this trade. And the take profit, if we do conservative, 2 ATR should be about way down here at the bottom of this support level, 75.31.25. So I'm risking 300 to try to make 700. It may or may not complete, but let's just see if the direction could be more correct. So on this paper session, I took 3 trades already, right? The first trade that completed was XRP trade, made approximately $50. Second trade was like a fail when it's including commissions. So that one was like a flat trade or like a negative $10 loss. So let's just mentally say like, okay, we're up $40 approximately. Now this trade is starting to go in my direction. If I was incorrect long, I could just close the trade. Or for me, a little more advanced is if I believe if we're simply going down in the other direction, then I'll just reverse sometimes. Get this out of the way. And we'll see how far it goes. Starting to reverse. It's below the pivot point. That's why it's giving me a little bit extra confidence that this could pull back because we've been in a downtrend all day long today. It's not just the death cross, but it's the price action. Low, lower, high, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, higher, low, lower, high for now. So it looks like maybe it's going to retrace just a few points down. But the post market is so quiet sometimes that it happens in little pockets. So I think this is something like maybe this is Japan. This might be maybe Hong Kong somewhere in here. I think Hong Kong is like here somewhere. And then around this time, maybe parts of like India or Europe might be getting in onto this trade. So very quiet session. Southeast Asia, it's a quiet session. I am noticing here though that, so instead of looking at this P&L, I don't really care about that too much. I'm looking at, okay, what's the actual candle close doing? I have, on this 15-minute chart, I have 11 minutes to just wait and see, is this going to go down? Is it going to break below 7544? Or is it going to surprise reverse on a 1 minute and go back up to 7547? This is where you always see me in my videos. I draw a resistance, blue, and I draw support line, which makes sense. Right now, this EMA, the 20 EMA, is 7544. And if I'm only on one trade, that's a 3-point move. That's a half ATR move that this thing just went down. So if we're going to crash, it needs to go another half ATR. And then that'll break down below the support. If that happens, there might be a little bit of a longs getting kicked out here. Sometimes we'll see here like this, it happens real fast in like 4 candles. But the fact that this is so tired, I mean, this is so slow. Right now, it's already 45 minutes into the video. I'm starting to also see crypto on my other screen, starting to pull back. For fun, let's do some multi-time frame. So that's if we were on a 15-minute, on a 5-minute. Let's look at the price action. I rejected, starting to consolidate on a 3-minute. Oh, there's that double top. Okay. Although we have a slight EMA up cross, right? Sometimes I use a super trend just to verify. The hourly double bottoms there. So maybe we might get some really early morning bounce, possibly, depending on the news. But on the 15-minute, we got that little bit of rejection. On the 5-minute. 2-minute actually holding above that. So 7545.25 has to break. The algorithms, market makers, they could try to like fake me out right here, because if I flipped, it has to really do this. I guess just dump on me one or 2 candles. But some algos, if I notice that if there's not much action going on in the market, it'll just reverse, and it's trying to chop me up. It's trying to chop me out of this position. That's what happened to me yesterday before I committed to my short. It was so choppy yesterday. Right? See that in that 1 minute here? But 1 minute is golden cross, but you can see even right now that candle close, people are fighting because the algos are fighting against whoever shorted this. We're just waiting 15-minute. Let's flip back to that XRP trade. Even though it's closed, you can see, yes, even though we got a bounce, there's a little bit more continuation happening here. That's okay for me. Yes, I could have held that a little bit more and played it for the leg down. That's all right. Just want to show like a micro scalp, which I don't recommend doing that, but I'm just doing it for sake of time. Flipping back to ES1. Not much move happening here. Flipping back to Bitcoin on a 5-minute, holding above 64,200. Resistance here, 64,659. Support 63872. This flash down was remarkable. Lost the pivot, lost 2 pivots in 2 hours. It's so quiet right now. No volume. See, whoever did this, let's say someone in the post-market Asia session, they're just basically done. He said, whoever went long here, maybe the short from earlier, they made their 10 to 20 points and they're gone. Maybe this Japanese traders, 20 points, they're gone. They're out. Very quiet. Maybe everybody's just trading crypto. We're all just trading crypto at the same time right now. Take a moment here to say thank you for watching and supporting. Really appreciate it. If you like this video, consider clicking the like button. Leave a nice comment. If you have a chart request, just let me know. This is the exact arena time to do it. Market makers going to try to chop me out of this trade. Crypto altcoins starting to pull back right now. It's just chop. So this is the problem that happened last time, is that even just yesterday before I committed to my short, is if we're going to chop up here, okay, yes, 1 minute's an uptrend, we hit that support line, fine. 2 minutes, a little bit of that bounce up. All right, fine. 3 minute bounce off that 20 EMA. 5 minute, still getting stuck. So I have to really commit to this 7547 resistance spot right here. This is the level I need to wait for. And just being patient, committing. I don't want to, well, for this example, let's just pretend I don't want to commit to the $300 loss. Let me just commit to a $100 loss. A little bit more close to the crypto trade, which means that if I'm just scalping this for the sake of time, maybe I'll just target 150 or 200. So not this big of a RR, risk to reward. Sometimes scalping in the post market is very, very slow. We're just waiting. Honestly, sometimes if it's this slow, I'll just eat a snack or eat some food, do some stretching. Because I locked in the trade. I could technically walk away if I have to, go do something for a minute or two. But sometimes, right when I walk away, I might get like this huge move that happens in an hour. Right. So this is the problem with day trading is sometimes day trading it could turn into an 8-hour job if it's just choppy like this, like if it doesn't move anywhere. That's why sometimes I prefer swing trading with less risk. And sometimes it's better to just not even trade, just get off the computer, do something else. So we'll see. Let's do this. I'll keep streaming for 6 more minutes. Because I started streaming at a random time. If whatever happens in 6 minutes, so on top of the hour, or actually, yeah, 6 more minutes, 6 more minutes. Regardless of whatever the position is, if it's red or green, I'm just going to close it. And then that'll be the final P&L for the practice session. And this is actually a good example because sometimes not every session moves crazy volatile. Not every setup works. Not every trade is successful. Not every idea is successful. Only trading high quality, high volume setups is important. Okay, so starting to just tick down ever so slightly. If this was New York session, it would have just already just made a big move by now. Let's flip back to XRP. It's happening. XRP pulling back a little bit more to my target, remember? Also, a key here on this 5-minute, it was rejecting below a pivot point. So my short was not random. Just from experience, just kind of feel it. On the chart, you can see it and feel it. This one too, it's hesitating here below a pivot point. So you give it time. Interesting. You're starting to see somebody bid up on this next candle, this next 5-minute candle. Looks like somebody's trying to bid up that 1 minute. Top of the hour. Looks like it's going to go long. Someone closes trade. Looks like I'm about to close this trade. Because sometimes if it's just chop and we get a momentum on the, say, for a scalper on a 1 minute, 2 minute, and it starts to get that momentum, it can be dangerous. You get like these little piercing candles where it's just going to pierce straight into my stop loss and then just rally and then crash back down. So sometimes putting a stop is really, really important, but at the same time, it's really easy to get kicked out of trades. See right there. Instead of just flipping my bias too much, I know that, okay, if we're closer to resistance, just believe in the setup and hold into it. It's just wicking around right now because sometimes the algorithms, they need time. It needs to hit that hourly or the next 5 minute or the next 15 minutes to activate the algorithms to like do something. So this candle's actually not closed yet. But I do like the performance of my ideas in real time. There we go. Just from experience, there we go. Just from experience, just waiting for the trade, waiting for it. Yes, I might have to exit soon because scalping is not good to. I don't want to get people into a bad idea of scalping. It's just I can't live stream for 10 hours. So we're just going to have to simulate. You know, this could simulate 1 hour of movement in a different asset. For crypto, it could be in the flash crash, could be like 10 minutes move. I think I've been in this trade for maybe 30 minutes or so, 20 minutes. All right, so now that it's getting to the end of this stream, I'm just going to lock in at least the minimum amount of profits. I'm going to lock in as a scalper. Okay, I'm going to lock in at least $25. And just to end this video, instead of it didn't hit my 200 target on stream. But let's just see if it gets down to this $100, around this $100 target. Just slightly down. It may or may not hit it. It's very, very close. So if you notice, what I did is my break even is this red line. It's this big blue line here. Big blue line. Let me confirm. Hold on, let me confirm. Trade. It's so close. I might have to just lock it in because it. There we go. So finally, thank you, market makers, for eating up the trade. Right? So we made $100 on that trade, just being very patient. And didn't quite hit my 2 target, but I need to end this video. And so let's recap. I took 2 trades on ES, and this is S&P 500 futures trading, ES, paper trading, fake money, virtual account practice. So I just practiced day trading scalping here. I was very patient. And remember, the first idea was actually wrong. I was thinking, okay, if we are in the medium time frame, there's a double bottom. But in the short-term time frames, like a 5-minute, 2-minute, 15-minute, we're getting stuck under this resistance 10 times. So if the long is not going to work, it's very important, and this is why I'm practicing more, is if I'm wrong, be wrong faster. Make the decision faster, meaning stop myself out faster, and no moving of the stop loss. Don't cancel the stop loss. Commit to that $50 stop loss or $5 stop loss or $500 stop loss, $100 stop loss, whatever it is, the risk that I set for my account according to percentage, and commit to that and lock it in there. And then the only thing I need to improve on is where's my exact buy point, or where's my exact sell point, or where would I buy more of, or where would I sell more, rather than changing the risk reward every single trade, which is what causes, or over leveraging, changing the system, which would destroy accounts. So I only did 3 trades today on this practice session. First trade failed, but we had minimal loss. I think we had like a let's just say a $10 or $20 like slippage commissions loss. That's better than losing $100. So we had negative 20. Then on the XRP trade, I shorted this down. I actually went down to my 1% target. Remember that? We just held it a little longer, but that's scalping for you. So hold that back 1 second. I got to close. Okay, I had to take profit on one of my real life trades. All right, so we can see that on this, for the second trade on XRP, that this short was successful. I could have held it a little bit longer, but for sake of time, I'm going to end. And then coming back to the third trade on ES, I changed my idea, not based upon my emotions, but what I'm seeing on the evidence that some sentiment and other assets was falling. The correlation is definitely there that I can notice. And just reversing the position, managing the risk, not doing unreasonable risk to reward ratio or something like that. Not doing that. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. It's just risk the $100 to try to make the 200, risk 50 to make 100 on this example. And the third trade was successful. So 2 out of 3 trades correct. 66% win rate for today. Very easy, just 3 trades. Manage risk, 1R to make 2R, even though it's on a much smaller scale for scalping. If this is real day trading or swing trading, I could have luxury of time to let those targets hit. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching. This is a very long video. I may or may not do these. It depends on if people are interested or if they want to ask me a question or chart request. But I think it's because and just reminding people, I used to be a live streamer on TradingView, YouTube, and Twitch at the same time. And then once TradingView changed their live streams to videos only, I came back to YouTube. So I used to be a YouTuber first, then I was live streamer, then became a YouTuber again for charts. And again, here we can see my short was more correct, but I don't have time to 8-hour stream, unfortunately. And I don't want to waste anybody's time too much. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I'll probably do these videos maybe once a week or more. It depends on how many people like it and if somebody wants to learn or ask a question. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a nice week. And remember, let's always manage our risk and our emotions and try to execute our strategies as best as possible. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.